Good evening, Fernwood. It is your virtual weird Uncle Neil, and it's time for us to get awkward with another episode of Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Today we are watching episode 244 from March 10th, 1977. We had a George-centric episode yesterday, so let's take a look back. George was feeling really lonely and rejected because he was not invited to the party at Mary's house, and he got to witness a lot of the other people in town, like Grandpa and Barbie, who were, as always, working out the particulars of their relationship. George gets sick of that and heads to the Capri Lounge where Martha is working. She serves him a martini, which he doesn't love, and then has to make a big drink for a customer. George watches surprisedly as Martha lights the customer's cigarette and then pockets his lighter. And then when the customer complains that she took it, she completely denies what's going on. The customer follows Martha up to the bar and says that the lighter cost him $5, and she turns that into an opportunity to take money from the register and pay him $5. George seems a little bit mortified at what he has seen and gives Martha $5 to put back into the register, and when George takes his leave of the Capri Lounge, Martha pockets that $5 too. The Jeters are in bed when Lila comes in to measure exactly how far apart they're sleeping from each other, and in response to their frustration, they suggest that Lila could perhaps find a single partner of her own, at which point she jumps into the bed and says one of them has to get out. And that leads to Merle laying sleeplessly on the couch as a mysterious doorbell rings. Oh, and it's George, who is in every scene today. Like we said, George is lonely, and some of that loneliness is connecting to Merle. George suggests that they could go get some drinks together, and Merle says maybe some other time, when out of the bedroom walks Lila, who leaves George completely flabbergasted. And then when Wanda comes out too, George is completely at a loss for words, and he bolts over to see Kathy. Of course, he's surprised to find Howie sleeping there, and though they try to explain that they have a non-sexual relationship, George just leaves in a panic. And then we cut over to Mary's kitchen, where we're seeing that party that George wanted to be invited to, as Vernon Bales appeals to the unity of the people in the room, people like you and people like me, and not like the people who make us feel shameful. To which Mary responds about the settlers who colonized America and stole land from the Native Americans. Vernon brushes over that in his veiled, racist fashion, and then asks Tex to pull out the new robes. And of course, the garments that Tex got were not robes at all, but indeed muumuus, at which point Mary gets excited to try one on. And Vernon takes this as a sign that they are a gullible group of people, and leads the group in a chant about muumuus and the GGG. And in case you have forgotten, the GGG are a white supremacist organization trying to recruit members. And that's when George finally shows up to Mary's party, and Mary, of course, is thrilled to see him. But George is sad that he wasn't invited, at which point Mary does invite him, and Vernon says he had the wrong idea and offers George a robe. And that's where we ended yesterday, and I feel like this was a unique episode in Mary Hartman, Mary Hartman. Very few episodes are single character centric like this. Like, often we will follow Mary through all of her adventures. I have no idea what to expect today, but it seems a little bit terrifying that most of our friends here are now aligned with the GGG, so why don't we take a look and see where things are going?
Mary Hartman! Mary Hartman! Now, what I have in this bag is stuff that your hands are dying for. I have here Daisy hand lotion. Now, in the drugstore, I saw this stuff and I just couldn't help it. I thought of you guys.
I don't know what I ever did before you come here.
Oh, Tex, that pleases me so much when you say that. I also bought some Dial soap, pink and blue, for the men's room.
Already got soap in there.
No, it's too abrasive for you. Now, something I got here that I just know. I know the two of you are really going to appreciate this. In fact, I only wish that I could have gotten the assorted colors. All they had was the black, so I had to take it. However, it has like like, the way they describe it, it is lavender scented to filter noxious fumes. Now, I thought what this would be for is we use this, we filter all the bad air that's coming from that direction over there.
That's a bath.
Oh, you men take baths here?
Oh, that's a solvent bath. Cuts oil and grease, cleans parts.
Oh, well, no wonder these parts are so dirty. Well, we're covered on that now. There's no need to worry about that. I'm glad about that, I'll tell you that. Ah. Tex? I wanted to ask you a question about the Triple G meeting last night.
Rule number 8. No member shall discuss or even mention the GGG in front of a non-initiate. That means anyone.
Oh, I am so sorry. I am so humiliated. I didn't know that. I
All right.
I'm so sorry.
All right, don't let it happen again.
Okay. There was no party.
Texas, Mary, I'd like to talk to you. Well, how are you? It's good to see you again. Yeah, well, that was wonderful cheese dip you had last night, Mary.
Oh, thank you. I used goat's milk.
Listen, I had an idea. What do you think of enlisting the mayor? What, don't you think he'd add a lot to the organization?
Dignity. He would add a lot of dignity. The mayor has that. Plus, he just happens to be a very fine man.
Oh, yeah.
Very fine.
I mean, if he got in, he'd probably boost a rep all over town.
Well, then you both approve.
Oh, yeah.
Good,
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Now, listen, you're friends with him, Mary. You get right on it. Set up a meeting for the 4 of us.
Oh, sure. Should I invite his wife, too?
Of course.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, I just realized that, I think he's coming down with something. Maybe the stomach flu. Ugh.
Oh, well, you know him well, then.
Oh, well, no, not really. I just feel that as a good citizen, one should try to get to know their, mayor, but I will do everything I can to pull, every string I can to, try to reach him later. I will.
You get back to work.
Okay.
Hurry. Look, now this is my plan for destroying the guys that made ruts.
Thunderhead, will you forget Roots? We've got bigger things to do.
I know all about that. Now just hear me out. Now, I will go to the TV station and I will demand equal time to reply. Now that is 12 hours of TV time to talk about the GGG.
And what if the station refuses to recognize you as a viable opposing opinion? What? Give me that, you idiot!
Mr. Bales, one of these days you are going to come to realize that I am the best friend the GGG ever had.
You know something? I just realized something. The Jeters are very close with their maid. Maybe we should invite her too. What do you think? Fine. Just checking.
Hammer all you need, Vern?
Oh, yes, thanks. I just wanted to hang this. My mom made it for me.
Now, that's the banner for the organization, right?
Oh, yes, yeah. It's going to go right up there next to There's No Place Like Home.
You know something, Vern? You're a good neighbor. Hello, Mary.
Hi, Vern. Oh! Isn't it wonderful that we're all members of the GGG?
Yes, pretty soon almost everybody in Fernwood's going to be a member of the organization.
Oh, God, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, but it'll still be secret and exclusive, won't it?
Well, sure.
Well,
That's the point.
Oh, yes, totally. We're going to do wonders for community morale.
I just wish that everything was wonderful over at the plant. But I'm sure there will be as soon as all the little items on my petition are taken care of. Listen, I thought of a cute little check system that you might be able to use.
Mary, we are going to take care of all of your grievances. One of the priorities of the GGG is to assure that everybody gets better working conditions. Well, that's one of the reasons we're so wonderful. We want to help the right people achieve the right goals.
Oh!
I like that.
Well, let's hear it then. The right people, the right goals. 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 Do you have any guns around?
The right people, the right...
Sure do.
Yeah, but we were talking down at the GGG meeting about having some close order drill sessions and some target practice. Do you think you could still whip together some raw recruits for us?
Oh, is a pig's rear end pork? I used to be an expert marksman with the Seabees.
Daddy.
Oh, I thought you were a gob. I was an army man myself.
Yeah?
Yes, I was a substitute drill instructor. I don't know, but I've been told Eskimo pie is mighty cold. Sound off, 1, 2, sound off, 3, 4, da-da.
You had a good home, but you left your right. You had a good home, but you left your right.
Please, okay, stop it, please, no guns, please, Daddy, please, no guns. That really scares me, it really does. You see, like a real gun could kill a person, and, I'll tell you, men, this, I'd have no objection to a pillow fight.
Kill people? Oh, what? No. Well, Mary, if that's what you thought, well, no wonder you were worried. No, but you see, our kind of guns don't kill people. They teach people discipline. The way to lead their lives with discipline for peace and kindness.
I know, but it's just that all that marching around and going hut. I mean, that really bothers me.
We're just calisthenics. Well, there's nothing more fun than a bunch of men getting together to exercise. Right, George?
That's right.
But, Daddy, you don't need a rifle to exercise.
Well, no. Generally, we just have sticks and we pretend they're rifles.
Why? Why do you pretend a thing like that?
For our 4th of July demonstration. You know, you would make a wonderful Betsy Ross.
I would? Thank you.
You know something? I could be John Wayne.
Hi, gang. I just dropped Kathy off at the Capri for her turn watching Mrs. Shumway.
Oh, Vernon Bales. I'd like you to meet Howie. Please, I'm sorry. If his voice sounds familiar to you, it's because you've heard him on the radio doing the news.
Oh, well, that sounds like a fine job. Getting to talk to everybody like that on the radio.
But I'm not just another pretty voice reading the news, though. I'm a reporter, too, ferreting out facts, and I am onto something right now. A real job of investigative reporting. A big story. A big story about this secret society that intends to divide us by means of race, hatred, and violence.
Well, that's just the opposite of the glorious guardians of good, right? Vern? Shh. Oh, because it's a secret society. Shh.
See, the problem is I'm stuck here in Fernwood where nothing happens. But I've sent my resume to a station in Austin.
Austin? What makes you think the action's there?
What makes you think it isn't?
Oh, nothing at all. I was wondering. It sounds like you should be very careful, Howie Freeze. I mean, if a group like that got wind of your investigation, why, they sound like the kind of people who might make life very difficult for you.
Isn't it silly? Who would want to hurt Howie Freeze? That would be like wanting to hurt a munchkin.
Oh, my God, it ain't me!
Oh, my God.
You see, Paul, I have kept track of 6 of the most popular cocktails, and I try to keep 2 of each prepared, ready to go at all times.
Martha, you're a born bartender.
Here you are, sir. Now, don't gulp this one, just sip it.
Hi, Tom. Good morning. You're right in time for your shift.
Yeah. How's she doing, her?
Oh, she mixes a mean martini. But I haven't seen her steal a thing since I've been here. I think maybe this kleptomania is a bum rap.
Well, I sure hope so. I hope you're right.
Of course, I was asleep for 15 or 20 minutes, but I didn't see her take a thing. I've got to work on my schedule because an hour and a half is too long for Bobby and I to be here.
Barbie? Barbie's here?
She's here, more or less. Thanks to the Capri rule against loitering, she has to keep ordering. And we've been ordering everything.
Well, do you think you can get her out of here all right, do you think?
I can if she's sober enough to show me the way.
Oh, Ray! I haven't had so much fun since Cab Calloway did the hody, ho.
Who are those guys?
Just some bones I collected while you were away. But don't worry, Ray. The one on my right passed out, and the one on the left, he's a bore.
What you need is a real man.
What will you boys be having?
Well, I'll take a Diet Pepsi and,
Bourbon and water.
Bourbon and water, yeah.
All right, here we go. One Diet Pepsi coming up. And bourbon. Here we are, Paul. There's your bourbon and water. Tom, do you think this is the right place for a child? Especially one like yours that is so impressionable?
Well, look, Mom, Heather promised me if I took her out, she wouldn't wear that towel, you know.
I'm above being influenced by the sordid activities of either Philistines or the drunken Fernwoodians.
Well, I'm just delighted to have you all here, of course. But it is a bit of a mystery to me. You know, ever since I started serving up gin and other alcoholic beverages, I have seen more of my family than I ever did at home. So, some relative seems to be around here at all times. It's really a pity I can't sit down and chat with you, but generally I have some drunk to tend to.
Listen, how's she doing, huh?
I didn't see her do a single suspicious thing. Are you sure she's a klepto? Isn't the former flash of the family enough?
Well,
She takes after us out of the family.
yeah, well, let me explain something. She explained the whole nun part to me. That whole nun thing, you know, it's peer pressure. You know, we had a nice father-daughter chat. Now, she's her best friend in school is a girl named Lori Butler, see? And she's a very devout Catholic, and she's a very popular girl. She's the most popular girl in school, as a matter of fact. Heather, come on. You promised me you wouldn't do that in public. Now, come on, it's embarrassing, honey. Come on, Heather, you have a napkin on your head.
Dad.
What?
That guy there, see him? See
Yeah.
him? He is Lori Butler's father's friend.
So?
And they go and play bingo every Friday. So if the matter comes up, we're very devout Catholics.
Well, wait a minute. How does a very devout Catholic act? Mom, where are you going?
Oh, Tom, I'm going home. I'm sorry not to be able to spend any more time with you, but, you know, this job just has me all tuckered out.
Yeah, well, it's got us tuckered out, too. Mom?
Sir, excuse me, but bless you.
Oh, thank you, but I didn't sneeze.
Hey, listen, excuse me, I'm Tom Hartman. Yeah, how are you? Nice to meet you. This is my daughter, Heather. Yeah, she is just about ready to order, you see, and that's why she's got this napkin on her head.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah.
My wallet.
What?
It was right here on the bar, and now it's gone. So somebody stole my wallet.
Yeah, well, we'll be seeing you.
Bartenders.
Martha? Martha!
The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away.
Heather.
going on? Howie.
I'm sorry I woke you, Kathy.
Oh, it's okay. I just forgot that you sleepwalk. Listen, I'll put some foam rubber over the sharp edges and corners first thing in the morning.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathy. I'll really figure out a way to stop this. If I can. I'm sorry, Kathy.
Listen, it's okay. If sleepwalking's the worst of your problems, I could rest in peace.
Yeah.
I only wish that you could, too.
Yeah, at least tonight I knew where I was going.
The bathroom?
No. I was going to pick up my Pulitzer Prize. I got it for my investigation of that fascist secret society.
Oh, what were they called?
I don't know yet, but they refer to themselves by 3 initials.
Like the 4-H?
Hey, come on, this is serious. It's a violent, dangerous group, and they have to be exposed, and I am the guy to do it, especially with the information my sister in Florida gave me. I mean, if they got my brother-in-law to run away with them, it's got to be something big. He wouldn't even go to Disney World. The thing is, if I could only get out of Fernwood, I know I could track him down.
Howie, can I ask you something?
Sure, I may have to consult my files.
How come you haven't tried to sleep with me?
Well, I guess I can forget about the files on that one, huh? Well, Kathy, I thought I was supposed to be courting you,
Well, trying is half the fun of it. I mean, you haven't even kissed me for 2 whole days.
In other words, what you're actually saying...
Look, there's a note.
Unless you want to sleep in a concrete sleeping bag, drop your secret society investigation. I wonder what they mean by that.
Let's go, Tex. Punch that clock, man.
What clock?
The time clock, man.
Oh, yeah.
So yesterday we had a George-centric episode, and this episode was almost entirely GGG related, or at least the GGG were featured in 3 of the 4 big scenes. We start with Mary at the factory, and she has brought hand lotion, and I remember as a kid that I really wanted to wear gas masks, and I think that was a response to one of the superheroes from the golden age of DC, the Sandman, who's not exactly related to the Sandman miniseries, but kind of sort of is, because that's a 1980s and 90s creation inspired by the Sandman character. Anyway, I definitely wanted to wear gas masks, and I really never have. I suppose nowadays I am still masked in the outside world. I intend to wear masks as long as I can, because first, I get to control when people see my face, and second, I really enjoyed not having a cold or a flu for the last year and a half plus. Anyway, it seems like Mary is getting a tiny bit suspicious about the GGG. There were things that it seemed she didn't understand at the meeting yesterday, but Tex shuts her down, right? Because there's someone nearby, an extra, it looks like, that doesn't know anything about the GGG. So you're supposed to be Zumgawi about it. And then Vernon shows up and suggests that they recruit the mayor into the group. So that's pretty scary. And of course, Tex just is obsessed with blowing things up. And as much as Vernon wants to discourage him, I expect that that's going to be an underlying current for a little while. They named July 4th as something going on, and I remember last season when holidays were mentioned, they were kind of important. So I wonder if this GGG storyline is going to be with us for a couple more months. We're only in March at this point. So we've got April, May, June, and then July. So it looks like the GGG are going to be an ongoing concern because as far as I can tell, and I'm trying not to spoil myself, but it looks like the end of Mary Hartman proper, Mary Hartman, is July 1st. So it looks like they're going to be with us for the rest of the way, at least. We'll see. And then we're at the Shumway residence where Vernon wants to borrow a hammer so he can put up his GGG flag next to his No Place Like Home tapestry. And for a secret society, they seem to flag themselves a lot. And after it's suggested that Mary could be the Betsy Ross of the group, that George would be the John Wayne, and I feel the need to point out that John Wayne was quoted in a Playboy interview as being on the side of white supremacy. And that's something that really has stuck with me. I cannot get that one quote out of my mind when it comes to seeing that actor. And I don't know exactly how involved he was, but that he was proud of it. At least if I can read into the language that he used, he was proud. He was proud of it, and that's not okay. Of course, this is where Howie meets Vernon and for some reason spills the beans on his investigation. Of course, that gives Vernon all the power. I suppose that Howie thinks that there's nothing GGG related. I think he thought of them as the TTT, and in the later scene we see that he doesn't know the initials now. Maybe he understands that the TTT have changed their initials. Now we know that Vernon has power over Howie because he knows that Howie's doing something and Howie doesn't know anything about it. And then we cut to the Capri Lounge to see the Shumway family and the Hartmans watching over Martha. And Grandpa hasn't seen her steal anything, and Barbie is just having a blast drinking away. Tom shows up with Heather, and Heather wasn't wearing a towel for once. And we get more confirmation that Heather's nun thing is based on peer pressure, so it's not a direct response to Philip, but indeed this girl Lori seems to be inspiring her with her piousness. I did get tickled when Heather went from not wearing the wig to putting a napkin on her head. It's pretty silly, and I'm okay with that. At which point Martha finds a way to take her leave, and it appears that she has stolen a man's wallet. And then we come to Howie and Kathy, and Howie is still sleepwalking. We know that he is dealing with that. Kathy takes him down, takes him gently. I am, for once, rooting for one of Kathy's relationships. I really appreciate how much she knows him compared to the men that she's been with in the past. And she's been with like 4 dudes. Steve and Dennis and the priest and kind of Brian. Yeah, she was with Brian for a little bit, and I mean, she appears to have forgotten about her baby. I wonder if that's going to be another mysterious reappearance in this show, or if the baby's been written off at this point. I am very much rooting for Howie and Kathy to have a good relationship, because she does seem to care for him, and he clearly cares for her. And, it's a question of now that Howie has a target on his back, exactly what that's going to mean. And then we cut over to the factory, and it is more GGG stuff as Charlie startles Tex with a prank. And Tex, it was clear to me when Tex was talking about a clock that he had some kind of time bomb, and of course he has it hidden in his jacket to put in a box. And that's where we end this not quite explosive episode. So everyone, my emotions are engaged at this point. Thank you so much for watching with me. Thank you for leaving your positive thoughts and feelings in the comments. Thank you for getting awkward with me, and we will see you tomorrow night in Fernwood.